Hi everyone, welcome to another video of Intro to Machine Learning. In this video, I'm talking about hierarchical clustering, which is another clustering technique. We'll talk about the mathematical interpretation, generally the intuition behind it, and a complete Python implementation. Okay, so by definition, hierarchical clustering is another easy to understand clustering technique. It's another unsupervised machine learning technique because we are trying to find out patterns in our data. It can be of two types, agglomerative and a divisive. The one that we are focusing on is agglomerative type. Obviously, there is a lot of documentation available that you can utilize to find how divisive works, but mostly agglomerative is the one that's utilized in most applications, so I'm focusing on that. Okay, so this is how the algorithm works. It's pretty easy to understand. Step one is to begin with all the data points that you have and think of them as clusters. So each data point in your entire data set is nothing but a cluster. So I begin with n clusters and then I try to find out the two nearest points or the two closest points and make them a cluster. Right? So now I'll be left with n minus 1 because I just found two of them that were nearest and I created a new cluster. So I now have n minus 1 clusters. Similarly, in step 3, I'm going to take two nearest clusters and make them another cluster. So now I'll be left with n minus 2 and so on. So this process goes on. And step 4 obviously is repeat step 3 until we are left with just one cluster. So that's our goal. This is how the algorithm works. Looks pretty simple, but a few things are not clear here, right? What do we mean by these nearest data points? How do we realize this nearest or closest? What do we mean by that? Just like with the earlier algorithms, nearest here or the closest cluster here actually refers to the distance between data points, and it could be Euclidean. Mostly it's Euclidean, but we can go for other distance types that we discussed in one of the earlier videos, but mostly think of it as Euclidean. The second question that arises is, let's say if we have two clusters like this, right? And they'll have like multiple points, right? So how do we decide the nearness or the closeness? Like, do we take the average of all the distances between all the points between the two clusters, right? The answer to that is yes, you can. This could be one method. Or do we take the distance between the nearest points between these two clusters, let's say this point and this point? The answer again is yes, because that's also an available technique. And do we take or can we take the distance between the furthest points? And then again, the answer to that is yes, because that option is also available, right? But mostly we take the average of all the distances of the average of points in cluster 1 and cluster 2 and then find how close these clusters are. Right, so let's focus on the average, but obviously all these techniques are available and it's up to us which one we want to utilize. So that's about what is closest cluster and how do we define it. Okay, let's see how this algorithm actually realizes if we want to visualize it, right? Let me assume a very simple case where I have very few points. Let's say my data looks something like this, right? Now, step 1, all of these are clusters. So I have like 6 clusters, right? I begin with 6 clusters and I'll see which 2 points are nearest. So I can tell these are the nearest. So this is another cluster. Now I'm down to 5 clusters, right? Again, I'm going to find out which 2 clusters are the nearest. I see that these two are quite close to one another. So this is another cluster. I'm down to 4 clusters. Now, I also find out that these 2 clusters are close to one another. So then this is another cluster. So these are 3 clusters. And then I find that this one is closer to this one. And so this is, I'm down to 2 clusters. And then finally, I can combine this and I'm down to 1 cluster. And so this is how it works. But then the question arises, how does it help us in answering a question like, let's say, customer segmentation, right? And the answer to that question is that it maintains a memory in something that's known as a dendrogram, right? A picture like this that you might have come across many times. So the hierarchical clustering technique can be, like I would say, visualized using a dendrogram. It's a tree-like structure or a tree-like diagram that records the sequences of merges, like the merges that we did just here. Okay, so how does that happen? Let's visualize our problem one more time. So let me just have the data. Let's say this is variable 1 and variable 2, if this wasn't super clear earlier. And let's say I have these points P, let's say, let me make these points first. Here, and let's say here, here, and here. Let's say this is my P1. I'm just like naming them P2, P3, and then this is P4, P5, and P6. Okay, so I begin with my step 1, which is to see which of the 2 points are closest, or maybe think about it as the points that are nearest to one another. So I can plot it on a graph, right? So let's say this is the Euclidean distance, and these are the points here. So let me say this is P1, P2, P3, P4, and they have to be like equidistant. Obviously my drawing is not as good, but this is it. Okay, so now let's assume that I found that P2 and P3 were the closest. So this was my step 1. Now the way I'll represent this on this picture on the right hand side is by drawing, I'll see this was the Euclidean distance and this was nearest. These 2 points were nearest. So this is the first linkage that I'll draw. This is also known as linkage. So this is the first linkage that I'll create. This is the first step, and this kind of represents how dissimilar these 2 points are. So I'm thinking, like, think about how dissimilar these points are, and the lowest dissimilarity is between P2 and P3. So that's the first linkage that we created, right? Now next I found out that let's say 5 and 6. So these are the clusters that I'm left with. Let's say 5 and 6 were nearest, right? And then their Euclidean distance was somewhere here. So I'll draw 5 and 6 linkage like this, right? Okay, so this was step 2. Now let us assume we saw this cluster and these clusters are the nearest. So this is my step 3. So notice this is a P1 and a link between the cluster that's already there, that's P2 and P3. Let's say the Euclidean distance is somewhere here. So the linkage will be formed something like this. So it ends up here, which kind of represents that it takes into account P2 and P3, right? And then next is, let us assume it's this one. So we found out that the distance between 1 and 5 is nearest to 4. It's somewhere here, obviously, right? Because it's the Euclidean distance is rising. So the dissimilarity is more here, right? And then finally, we'll combine all of them, which will be somewhere here. And that's it. So this is how we generate this dendrogram. Now the question arises, how do we use them? Right? What is the utilization of this? So the answer to that is that look at the vertical axis. That means the Euclidean distance, this thing here, like try to look at these differences, because these are telling me how dissimilar my clusters are. And then maybe we can set a threshold of dissimilarity. So these are going to be some numbers. Let's say this is 0.5, this is 1, this is 1.5, this is 2. If I set my threshold to 2, that passes somewhere here, right? Just notice how many lines does it cut, right? How many lines does it pass through? So in this situation, if my threshold was 2, and let's assume that the number of vertical line it passes through is 2, that means the optimal number is 2 clusters. So we should have 2 clusters as our goal. Let's say my threshold was 1, then let's see, this line at 1 cuts 4 vertical lines. That means my goal is to have 4 clusters, because that's the optimal number that I should have in order to find some meaningful patterns in my data, right? So basically we are looking at a relative value. For example, if we decide dissimilarity to be 1.5, then we'll have a different number of clusters. If we decide a dissimilarity to be 2, we'll have different number of clusters, and so on. And it depends on the domain that you're working in, right? What is the problem? And you better understand your problem. And based on that, you make this decision. What is the threshold? And based on that, we'll decide how many clusters we need, right? So deciding the threshold depends on the problem domain. Okay, so this was all about hierarchical clustering, the agglomerative approach. Let's look at a Python implementation. And the data that I'm using is here. It's available at the UCI repo if you haven't seen it. This is the link for that. And the data looks something like this. It has multiple product categories, and the values in it represent the number of units purchased by a client, a wholesale client, especially like maybe you can say a customer, right? So our goal is again to make clusters from this data that can segment similar clients or similar customers together. So let's go and look at that. Okay, we're going to keep that. And this is what my data looks like. You can find the CSV file directly on the link that's provided in the description. And this is different channels, different regions, and how many units were purchased. Okay, so going to the Python implementation here. What I'm doing is importing the libraries. This time I'm directly using from scikit-learn preprocessing the normalize class. What it does is, because all are numeric values, you don't have to think much. All are very, like, this is a well-behaved data set, I would say. Everything is numeric. So what I can do is directly go and normalize it. So this was the scaling part, and I'll get the scale data. Let's see how the scale data looks like. Okay, so let me run all of this. Okay, so how about doing an x.head and see how this looks like before we move further. Here, you can see this is like between 0 and 1, which is good. Now we can make our model, build our model on that. So as we discussed in the overall description of how hierarchical clustering works, right? I'm creating a dendrogram first, right? And the way to do that is using the scipy.cluster.hierarchy. So how did I get to this package? How did I get to this library? You can simply Google that and get this exact name where we can use hierarchical clustering and utilize this library to actually visualize our dendrogram, right? So I'm importing that, and then here I'm creating an instance of this class, notice, where my input data is x, which is nothing but what we created here, the scale data, all of it, and method is word. So this is the method via like using which we will create linkages, and this is going to show me the dendrogram. So let's actually look at the dendrogram and decide how many clusters do we need. Okay, it's taking some time. Okay, here it is. As you can see, we have like huge number. Obviously, the number of data points was huge, and so we began from there. You can tell just by looking at the x-axis, and then this is the Euclidean distances. Now, if I look at the vertical lines, and I'm not really knowledgeable about this problem as such, but I can tell that the vertical lines, these blue lines are really big. So these are the ones that are really making that segregation. If you look at the other vertical lines, like the green ones and the red ones, they're pretty small, right? So this is another criteria that can help you decide how many clusters to have, right? So let's say I decide that my threshold is 6, and you can tell just by looking at the dendrogram, if I decide the threshold to be 6, the line is going to cut only 2 vertical lines, so I'll have 2 clusters, right? So that's what I utilize here. So again, we are back to scikit-learn.cluster, and we import something known as a agglomerative clustering class and create an instance of the class. Notice the parameters. So the number of clusters is going to be 2. Affinity means what is the type of distance that you are utilizing. So I'm utilizing obviously Euclidean, right? So utilizing that, I'm going to create my model. And obviously, because I've decided to have 2 clusters only, I can visualize that here, right? You can make this visualization with different variables, but I'm like using a simple .scatter plot. That's all I'm doing here, because there are just like 2 clusters, and this is how the 2 clusters appear based on the model that I created, which is nothing but this here, HC. Okay, so this was all about hierarchical clustering. With this, I end this video. Thank you, and if you have questions, please ask in the comment section below.